So it's only since I started doing a few videos on YouTube that I kind of realised how long I've actually been in Thailand. I never really thought about it too much, but my original fitness first carb was 2004, and my first ever trip to Thailand was I was here on 9/11. I was in Patong. That was my first few months I was ever here. I didn't relocate to Bangkok to around 2002, 2003. I was always fly in, fly out, so I could almost go anywhere within reason. Out of all these years, there's a few things I could probably say to people that, especially guys that are thinking of moving to Thailand or coming to Thailand. And I suppose you could watch as many videos as you want, and there's always YouTubers making videos about this sort of stuff. But having lived it and done it, I think you've pretty much got to find out for yourself. But the best bit of advice I could say, from my opinion, is from day one, set yourself up not in the nuclear zones, like not in the Patongs, the Pattayars, the Sukhumvits, some places in Samui. Get right away from it. Those places are such a small part of what's really, really going on, well, in Southeast Asia, that there's just really no need for it. And the great thing about doing that, if you do it, what'll happen is, well, once you start living in those areas, and let's just say, well, from my experience, someone will come in from work and they'll be down in Pattaya, or they'll be out in Sukhumvit for the night or whatever, and they want you to come out, and you'll go there, and it'll just be in your face, and you'll realise what sort of scene it really is, how it's not really what's going on, how most local people are getting up at 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and travelling an hour or 2 hours on the BTS or wherever to get to their job, working all day, eating with their friends, and going to sleep at 8 o'clock each night or whatever. But that in my opinion, that sort of arms you up to don't get sort of like sucked into that lifestyle. As I said, I never liked those areas like Patong or anything that much. Some people do, that's fine, but as I said, I was there when 9/11 happened. I remember it because I was having a shower and I come out and the cable news was on, and there were all these voices going off, and I saw one of the planes go into the buildings or whatever, and, well, everyone's watching it down at the pubs. Like, I remember walking down along the Esplanade there and down Bangalore Road, and from what I remember, there was no music. There's no music, but everyone had the TVs turned up in the bars, and everyone's just fixated on the TVs, because I don't know anyone. I was young back then, but it really changed the world, or the Western world. 9/11 was really a turning point in the world, in my opinion. I'm sure many people may agree with that, but it did. It really changed a lot. It was a long time ago now. And has Thailand changed? Well, in some ways, smartphones have changed a lot. I think I was lucky in one respect to have experienced the bars before everyone was all the girls were just staring at smartphones, looking up, oh, welcome, where are you? Back down to the phone. That wasn't like that before. They were full of energy, running around and doing crazy stuff. And I mean, I suppose you still get that, but I just, maybe I'm just a bit jaded, but it's just not the same, in my opinion. For a single guy living in a high rise in Bangkok, the anonymity, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. Even the floods in Bangkok, they've been bad over the years. If the Chao Phraya has a high tide, combined with a lot of water coming down from the north and heavy rain in Bangkok, always keep that in mind where you get in an apartment, because if it floods and stays flooded for hours each afternoon or something, it's not much fun. It's never happened to me, but I've seen areas where it happens, and it wouldn't be good. Bangkok is not much above sea level, and it doesn't take much if there's a high tide in the Gulf that holds up the Chao Phraya, and up she comes with all the water coming in. Drinking is a big thing that affects a lot of guys in Thailand. I've always been lucky. I've never been a big drinker, but as soon as you get a girlfriend that isn't involved in the nightlife, that sort of all ends. And if it doesn't, well, that relationship will sort of end, because a lot of those girls don't want to be associated with any of that. And it's pretty funny. A lot of guys would know this, that saying in Thailand, if you date a girl, mate, she's 21, 22, example, and you go past the pub, oh, do you want to go in here? Oh, no. I used to go there when I was a young girl. And you look at them like, but that's one of the great things I think about women in Southeast Asia, is they know, and of course money, like if you're throwing money around over here, from my experience and what I've seen of other guys do and all that sort of stuff, and myself, I'd always just rent everything. Just rent. You hold all the aces. Doesn't matter what you think, you never know what lies ahead in the future. And do you ever really know someone that you're dating? And that also adds into the classic house in the hometown syndrome. I'm not saying do or don't do it. What I'm saying is just remember is that where are you building it? And I've pretty much spent just as much time in Vientiane as Bangkok. And Vientiane is changing, no doubt. The big red dragon to the north, now that the LCR's in operation. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it is a change. But again, at the end of the day, if there's one thing I could say to someone who's coming to Thailand, planning to stay long term, I would say set yourself up anywhere but a tourist area, anywhere but the nuclear zones. You won't get instant attention all the time off people, but you'll quickly see what's going on and get into the groove or the rhythm of things. And like when people are out, what are the local pubs, what time they start up, what are the busy nights, what are the quiet nights, and you just get to know the gyms, all that sort of stuff, where the good running parks are. If you're near the river, what's going on with the river. But if you made it this far, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. See you again.